in the live chat. Yo, check this out. Hey guys, man, that's what I love to see. Come on board. Feeling like I was going to be the only one for a couple minutes, just having to talk to myself while waiting for everybody to get notified. It's good to see that. I've got a couple already here. Of course, Shroom Day, welcome. I appreciate you, buddy, and thanks for watching the video. Let me read these comments, and I understand you don't plan on staying long because of whatever. So if you got to dip, anybody has to dip out. I get it. I consider the after party chat simply bonus. So anybody that comes out for this, we're just talking about what we just watched. And I actually do feel like I left out some things. I didn't really go in depth into some of the ecology of the tree rot side of things, where I'm always looking at the mushroom side of things, but I was looking at it from a tree rot perspective, and how I don't necessarily think that all tree rots, especially heart rots, are necessarily the evils that we would view them as from a tree perspective. So here, let me get caught up on some of these comments. I want this to be more interactive and not talking. You just watched me for the past 15 minutes. So, Mr. Chubby Hubby, welcome aboard, man. It's good to see you too. Howdy there, Mr. Jeff. Man, my eyesight's kind of poor, so let me get in a good position here. And you know where I'm at. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, Powder Mill Nature Reserve. This is where nature meets man-made creation, as I call it. And it's a beautiful thing because we do need to reserve or preserve nature. And they've got a lot of things going on here. I might even get into some of that with you guys if you're interested. And while I'm on that note, I know a couple people that work here at Powder Mill, and I'd like to have them on my channel as like a walk in the woods interview. So pick their brains and just to see the whole nature side of things from other people's perspective, people that work with nature, but they're not necessarily mushroom heads. So anyway, howdy there, Mr. Jeff. I hope all is well with you and your spores. Thank you, brother. Hey, Mr. Hubby. Disregard email, LOL. And howdy, my friend, Shroom Day. Man, Shroom Day. I don't know. I'm probably not going to use your first name on here. I'll keep you as Shroom Day because this is the social medias. So I like just calling people by their handles. Even though I know your real name. All right, let's see here. I haven't checked my email today, but I'll disregard. Shoot. Hey, Mr. Jeff, I just finished watching your premiere. Good stuff. Thank you for that. Like I said, I think that it could have been a 20-minute video, but then my phone cut out, the recording of it cut out. And then I'm like, crap, I gotta go make more space on my phone so I can actually work on this footage. And at that point, not even 5 minutes later, rain's coming down, washing away all the artwork and stuff like that. And I figured, you know what? If we want to continue and get deeper into that, we can bore a little deeper in discussion on it because there is more to talk about. But honestly, my channel is kind of like intro to this stuff. You know, if I pique someone's interest into looking into a mushroom, maybe they've come across a mushroom hunting themselves, or it's growing on their property, or they're out deer hunting or whatever. And they just Google it and they come across this mushroom and it's like, yeah, that's the mushroom I found. And they watch my video and they learn a little bit about it. It might pique their interest into further diving in or just getting into mushrooms in general. I don't know, but I welcome that. Hey, we got a lot of people watching right now. Way more people that I can't even talk. We got way more people watching now than were at the live premiere. So thanks for joining. If you're catching this live, we're just after party chatting about Phellinus robiniae, aka the cracked cap polypore. I did some artwork on the side of my truck and now it's just a washed up remains. You can almost see it. see if I can catch that. You can almost kind of see where it used to be. But I have a real one. I can actually bring that out. It sits on my dash. Someone I met at Myco Fest brought one from Virginia and gave it to me. So I have one at my studio from PA. I have this one on my dash from Virginia. And the artwork I actually stole from the internet. I copied a picture from one that was on a tree in Maryland. So there we are. Let me grab this. You guys are going to like it. Here we are. Check this out. We got it in the light here. There we go. Now typically I don't see them often with all this lichen growing on them. Mostly just the dark green moss. And of course, those that are watching right now, you got to watch the other video that this after party chat is regarding, because you're going to see better footage in the light, in the daytime, and including footage of some of these popping off of an actual standing black locust tree, which these are what do we want to call it? The symbiote, the parasite. I guess they're considered a parasite because they do infect and cause tree rot. So it is a parasitic fungi. But this is part of my discussion tonight, if anybody's interested in this. But let me continue with the chat here, because I know I'm not keeping up if there's a discussion going on here. I get to talk and I realize people are talking to me. Hey, what's happening? Shoot. I think this explains why all the trees on my property are snapping in half. Are we talking about, you're talking about heart rot or white rot? So from trees' perspectives, or the people that study the trees, they call it heart rot, right? It's the rot that eats the center core of the tree trunk. And that's what Phellinus robiniae is. It's a heart rot species. But we consider it, I guess, from the fungal perspective, when you hear me talk about brown rot or white rot, I think I'm looking at it from a different perspective, maybe. Maybe the terminology is different, but it's kind of referring to the same thing. But in order for this, in order for a fungus to be a white rot or a heart rot species, it has to have enzymes in it that can break down that hard, rigid lignin. That's what gives trees its rigidity, its power to be able to stand up for so many years, stand tall and resist the wind and everything else. But that's not to say that a tree can't function without much of its heartwood. And I think heart rot, in regards to like locust wood, is more detrimental to the economy of lumber than the ecology of the trees. I don't know if that makes sense. So, but if you guys have any questions, or you're following what I'm saying, where my thoughts going, this is kind of a thought I've been pondering. So it's not like I got this locked down or I read this somewhere. But I think Phellinus robiniae is more problematic, not to the ecology of the native locust wood. I think it's been around doing its thing with the native locust wood for whenever it's been around. That's why I think it's kind of symbiotic, because it's, as far as we know, it's the only heart rot fungus this tree deals with. And other than some rare exceptions, the locust wood, the black locust, is the only host of this fungus. So it's like they kind of depend on each other. Excuse me, I got a burp. Pardon me. Shoot, let me keep talking here, or keep reading so I know what I'm talking about with you guys. I'm skipping it to some people that I don't recognize names. I want to welcome folks. I see Inspire Junction. Message retracted. All right. McFlurry, please fart. I can't. I can burp, though. I think I've been belching for a few here. Hank Absher, Jesus loves you so much. Repent and believe the gospel. All right, Hank. Shroom Day, if you click on the 3 dots next to my name, you can make me a moderator. What? Much love to everyone watching. And smash that like all. Thanks, Shroom Day. What else we got here? One more from you. The heart rot caused by the fungus. I got a lot of ash trees snapping halfway up the tree. Yeah. So it does weaken the integrity of the tree, of course. But a tree can remain standing depending on its canopy, depending on how it's grown. You know, if it's naturally kind of been pruned with branches snapping off in the past, it's going to allow more airflow. It's going to mean it's not going to be a giant kite catching the breeze. But sometimes these trees are in just a single row along the highway or across a farm field. And when they're grown in these single rows like that, they don't have a lot of protection from wind. And those ones could be easily prone to getting snapped. I'm specifically talking about locust wood, but I'm sure that applies to other species that could get like heart rot or white rot fungi. But I want you guys to think that just because we don't know what's completely happening, we know one thing's happening. We do understand that the fungus is eating the tree. It's getting nutrition from that lignin and the cellulose in the center of the heart, but it's leaving the sap alone. And that could have to do with different defense mechanisms, compounds chemically produced by the tree. But I don't know, because there's a lot of chemicals in the heartwood too. There's a lot of polyphenols. A lot. There's so much so in locust wood. That locust wood, the heartwood, could actually, and I read this, so it's not like I just pulling this out of nowhere, but it could be in the ground, 100 years preserved without rotting underground, for what that's worth. So whatever the fungi has going on, it's able to do what it does by getting past all of those chemical hurdles for it to be able to digest and break down this significantly durable wood. It's durable both in its hardness and in its ability to not rot. So there's this one species we know that can get past all that, and that's the one in the video. Which makes me think that maybe it's almost like I don't want to say it's welcomed by the trees, but these trees as a collective know when to drop some and when to allow some to go and when to actually help bolster the health of another tree. This is stuff that we think we know, and I don't even think we really have a clue as humans. What's beneficial and what's not. Because what's beneficial or what's harmful to one tree might be beneficial to a greater community of trees, to that population of trees or in the community at large of all the organisms. I mean, even I didn't get into it. I think I was going to get into it in the video, but talking about hollow trees that are still standing and alive, they could be harmful to maybe us, property damage, for example, if it does snap and fall. But while it's standing, it's home to whatever critters want to live inside that thing. Almost like the fungi are terraforming an apartment for bugs. I mean, that's just one way of looking at it. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. Hey, it's Kate from MycoFest. I've been fighting these trees in my yard. Glad they have a purpose. I mean, depending on where you live too. If you're in Appalachia, they're probably native to your area. And and they are aggressive. They definitely, they can take over an area quickly, an area where there's a lot of sun exposure, because they are not shade tolerant. And it's funny because one of the largest species of that fungus, of the Phellinus robiniae, I found was in the woods. And when I read about this and came across this and then started to observe the fact that all these trees I'm finding them growing on, yeah, it's along roads, sun shining. But the largest one I ever found, and I think the first one I had ever found, it was with my friend Daniel down in, I don't remember the state park now, maybe Prince Gallitzin or somewhere. But we were, sorry, I think it might have cut out. But I was chucking my stick up there to get this mushroom down, and it finally came down. I hit it and it knocked it off. Came and collected it, but a giant one is growing in the woods. So in hindsight now, I imagine there may have been a gap of sun growing in this spot to be able to have this tree want to even be there. So anyway, that was some of the information I had. I was just sharing the ecology of Phellinus robiniae, its environment, what causes it to do what it does. It gets the help of a little bug. The locust borer teams up with its larva, I guess, and the two of them do damage to the heartwood. Can you believe locust wood, now considered an unwelcome tree in many areas, was a cash crop of a lumber in its day because of its durability? So yeah, the fungus is considered harmful to us in money making, the economy side, but ecologically, you know, these trees are meant to live in a whole community with all these other trees and plants and animals and fungi and bacteria and everything else. And yet we want a monoculture and grow it like it's a farm for lumber's sake. So it's hard to do that when you've got a fungus that infects it and shortens its life, I guess, or shortens its ability to be a solid tree, to be lumber producing, because they can live with it, like I said in the video, but they don't live in the same way. They live as like hollowed out straws, so to say, or softened wood in the middle. And which makes me want to go into the nutritional value of the mushroom itself, because it's pulling all these polyphenols and compounds from the wood. Anyway, I'm not keeping up with comments. Let me get back to this. You guys are probably just rolling through comments here without me. I need a moderator, don't I? Shroom Day, let's talk about that in the future. That would be pretty badass to have you just moderate for me or something. I don't know how that works. Okay, let me see where I should catch up. I see Christopher Siebert, if I'm saying that right. Has he caught any dogs yet? Oh, it's probably a friend of Shroom Day. Welcome, though. Welcome. You guys all know each other. I appreciate you jumping on my live feed. I hope you did get to watch the other. If you didn't, I think you'll enjoy my talks on mushroom facts. We were talking about a common, well, I guess common to the locust wood, common, I was going to say a common white rot fungi. And because the durability of locust wood and the ability of this particular fungus to parasitize and eat the heartwood of this durable tree makes me think that there's something going on inside this mushroom, compounds, chemicals, that could be either super potent enzymes for industry. There could be chemicals in there, certain alkaloids or other compounds, some sesquiterpenes or some terpenoids or some flavonoids in there that could be, you know, medically beneficial. Might have to explore this mushroom further. Speaking of exploring mushrooms further, polypores. I've got to get back to this. I'm going on a rabbit trail because I was reading comments, but I do want to get into talk about a special polypore. All right, let me get back to my reading here. Trying to read the screen, so it looks like I'm staring you guys down here. Oh, shoot, where are we? They're definitely invading. I love how understanding the science helps me to value them. Also in middle of nowhere, PA. Hey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Wondering if the corky texture of the fungus can actually be used as cork. I'm thinking, so the name Phellinus or Phellinus, however you want to say it, referring to the corkiness, was given by this French mycologist to a different species in that genus, in the Phellinus genus. So it was a different Phellinus species, and it may have had more of a true corky feeling, because this one, I can tell you, is like wood. And I attribute some of that to the fact that it's coming off of locust wood, one of the harder, most durable woods in North America. So we got a special case here. I think this type of Phellinus is going to be maybe more on the denser side of the Phellinus genus. And I forget, there might be like 60 or 70 species in this genus that we know of, right? I don't know. What was I saying now? The corkiness. So this is more like woodiness, dense wood. I think it might be harder than pine. It's got a really denseness to it. I'm talking about the mushroom, right? Let me pick it up again. All right, I'm getting close to the light so you guys can see this. Get some more lumens on this for y'all. All right, check this out. Can we see that? Excuse me. All right, this is more, okay, to give you perspective here. Cross section, because here's the cap from a front view, underside. So we're cross section here. You can actually see it. Come on, focus. But it has a grainy texture going on. And I'm not going to get good focus on this camera lens, I don't think, because this is the, you know, the front facing. I have to be a little distant. There you go. How about here? Can you guys see the lines? It ain't just me, is it? I think it's my camera. Hey, we're just doing this for y'all though, because I get to see it. I want you guys to be able to experience this. But it's got these lines, and they're like straws. If you think of the pores like little tiny straws or tubes. I know this camera's not doing it. I wonder if I can flip the camera around. Hold on. If I can, that's going to help tremendously. Oh yeah, here we are. Game changer. If you're just now tuning in to the Mr. Jeff channel on this live, welcome. I am so far behind on the comments, but I want you guys to kind of see this up close. This is the same mushrooms that were featured in the video that I just premiered tonight. We're talking cracked cap polypore baby. Wow, I got some better shots now than I did on any of the video. And you know how I talk about brown rot leaving cuticle fractures? Isn't this interesting? That this white rot fungus that eats the heartwood of the tree, it breaks down the lignins. And then the mushroom itself forms this, I'm sure, lignin-laden. So I guess I'm just talking in almost like this ironic fashion. This white fungus, the mushroom it produces, looks like brown rot. This is not a brown rot fungus though. The mushroom looks like brown rot fungus, but brown rot fungus leaves the wood looking brown and cubically chunked. That's the only comparison I'm making. I want you to notice the straw, the little tubes coming off the bottom. Okay, losing our focus again. Hey, if I lose my light, we're gonna call it. So that's gonna be like our bell. That'll be telling us, okay, night's over. Because this light does have a timer. And it might be like 10 o'clock or so. All right, I'm trying to focus back on this mushroom, guys. So pardon me. My camera's not focusing. There it is. All right, we're looking at the straws, the pores. If you can get a count, you can imagine the whole row of them here is hundreds of them. multiplied by thousands, right? There's probably, I'm taking a wild guess, millions of actual pores dropping billions to trillions of spores. Shoot. Just admiring this. Oh, we were discussing the quirkiness, though. Not very quirky in the case of this particular species, but if you were to grind this up in a fashion similar to like chaga and make like a tea or a water-soluble extract out of this, there would be a lot of compounds that this mushroom has sequestered from that heartwood. And that heartwood has a lot of compounds that the tree itself sequesters or stores away. So I didn't get too deep into this, but I might have to make a video discussing more of the chemistry and the health benefits of this mushroom if y'all are interested in such. I've got a few different mushrooms on a back burner I'm waiting to do videos on. This one I had to get done because this was the summer of robiniae for me. Been seeing it everywhere where I work down here in the middle of nowhere, PA. Anyway, sorry, let me get caught up on some of these comments. I got Bendejo 419. How did the paramedics know Paul Walker had dandruff? They found his head and shoulders in the glove department. Boom. All right, where are we at now? OMG, it's TJ. The only way I could do that was if you wanted me to. I could come and pick it out, and then I can go pick it up from your mom's in Ohio or wherever you want. Man, I'm missing out on the conversation, I think. What's this going on? Would that hold a spark like chaga? You know what? That's a great question, and I'm assuming yes. I'm going to assume yes. But I only say that because many polypores do. Not just chaga, but tinderconch, hence the name. A cousin of Phellinus robiniae. Phellinus, I think it's Ignarius, but I may be botching its name. But the flagship of the Phellinus genus is known as false tinderconch because it can do that same purpose too. So there's a lot of the more woody or denser polypores that make for great tinder. Great comment. Great question. Let's see. I think I'm caught up. I may have skipped somebody. I hope not, but I want to say thank you guys for joining me. We still got lights out here. Any other questions about cracked cat polypore in the dark? I'm out here in Powder Mill Nature Reserve after hours, listening to the crickets and the frogs and whatever else is out here. And I know my lights are going to cut out soon. And yeah, we had a little water come through, erasing all my artwork. But if you didn't catch the video, and you know, you're not hurting my feelings if you did drop out, we're having, I think we're having good discussion. Hope you guys are learning stuff in the live chat too. But hey, big thank you. Can I just say thank you to everybody who's been on this chat? Maybe you left early, that's fine. Maybe you've never been on this channel, you just dropped in to see what the heck's going on here. Big thank you for even coming into the channel. And those that decided to stay, you guys are the real champs. I want to keep doing this every Monday, 9 o'clock. I know I have a lot of people who are mushroom nerds or they're into fungi and they don't give two craps about football. So I'm like, well, I'll just hijack your Monday night. Instead of Monday Night Football, we can do Monday Night Fungi or Monday Night Fungus. I want to keep this going. Thank you for all the good info, man. I nerd out on this stuff. I nerded out on this stuff just on my own free time, and I'm like, why don't I just share it? I share it with my close friends, and I probably bore them. So it's like, why don't I just put it on the internet and let those that Google it or search for it on YouTube stumble across me, and then the real fans will be there. They'll be following the guy that they were already looking for this kind of mushroom nerd information. So I guess I should turn the camera back around. There we go. But actually, truth be told, many of you guys who follow me, the ones that follow me tightly, I've already met you live in person at an event, whether it was like Fungi Flows event in Pittsburgh or Myco Fest or this foray or that foray. Meeting people live is where it's really at for me, because those are the people that actually get to know me. They know what I'm about, because I can be a little character on the internet, right? I can be over the top, and I guess I'm doing that because it's the internet. It's social media. We get to do our little dance. But in real life, you get to see the real person, and you share your lives a little bit, and there's something about that. And I appreciate those that that have become more to this channel and more to what I'm doing than just somebody off the internet. That's meaningful to me. I appreciate you guys. What else we got going on? I thought Shroom Day went to bed already. I'll nerd out with time, Mr. Jeff. I enjoy the heck out of these. Hey, it's good seeing you as well. It's good seeing you on here, both of you. If you're dipping out, man, we were on here a good solid half hour, and I still got light. So I'm letting the light be my timer. If you guys have to leave, I get it. But I'm just reading comments here. Hey, let me ask a question for those that are still on here. We got 3 people on here. Am I one of them? Is it 2 and then me for the 3? Or am I like just do I not count? I don't know how the counts work on here. Honestly, it shouldn't even matter, right? I'm just doing this stuff for the fun out here for those that want to listen. But if it is just you guys, I do have a question. What are you doing new to the stream? Hey, welcome. I'm going to botch your name. I'm sorry. Is it Pranav? I might be saying that wrong, and those that are on here. But quick question for y'all, if you're here. I got a couple videos I want to talk about. One of them, these are future Monday night videos. One of them is blue bruising in our mushrooms. You know, we've got the psilocybin mushrooms, the classical magic mushrooms that bruise blue. We know about that. But did you know there's a bunch of boletes out there that bruise blue? And they bruise blue for different reasons. It's not psilocybin. There's more than one. There's more than 2 reasons that mushrooms can bruise blue. And some of these processes do it instantly. Some of them take minutes to bruise blue. And I want to do a video on that and cover that. I won't talk about it all tonight and spoil it, but I want to do that one soon. I feel like I need to follow up my mushroom video on Phellinus robiniae with a chemistry video where I talk about compounds found in the Phellinus genus. If you guys are down for that, I can do that and like check that off my brain. Be like, okay, mushroom, you're good. I gave you 2 back-to-backs. I might do that, but I also I want ideas for other future mushroom videos. Whether it's a certain species of mushroom you're curious about, particularly ones out in Pennsylvania or East Coast out here, because I may actually be able to get my hands on one. But it doesn't have to be mushroom chemistry like today's. Today's video was on mushroom ecology, a particular species and how it is in nature and what it interacts with. So I'm into doing those kinds of videos. Sometimes I find a mushroom and I get fascinated by finding it and I want to learn more about it, and that turns into a video. I like deep diving into the biochemistry, how some of the compounds in mushrooms work in us, both good and bad. So if there's ideas of videos, and specifically, you know, mushroom videos, but it could even be yeast, molds. If it's a fungus, you know, if it's a fungus, we can do a video on it. I did a video, actually, technically, it wasn't even a fungus. It was a protist. I did a video on a protist that they found chemical compounds that were antifungal. The fact that they were antifungal was good enough for me to do a video on it. So yeah, go check that one out in my Fungi Facts playlist. If you haven't seen that one, they're called Keanomycins, named after Keanu Reeves. So yeah, I thought that was a fun article I read, and I'm like, let me do a little deep dive in that. for those interested, and I think it's got like 37.5 views. So there you go. Sometimes I make these videos for me, and anybody else that wants to enjoy them are welcome to. So what do we got comment wise? I'm slacking here. Howdy and welcome. Hey, I appreciate those jumping on board. I think Shroom Day and Chubby Hubby were sharing this live feed and sharing my channel with people. I welcome all of you guys from other communities. If you're fans of mushrooms, this is the place. Every Monday night, I'll be premiering a new mushroom video. It may be like getting into mushroom chemistry, maybe deep diving into a specific species of mushroom. I'll be exploring things like mushroom lore and history. That was the other topic. So we got blue bruisers as a video idea that I want to do. I've got my continuation of the robiniae into the chemistry and health benefits and possible industrial uses of such a mushroom. That video may be a little more boring than, say, the blue bruising. So we'll see about that. But I also want to do a video. Shoot, I just remembered it, and now I just forgot it. Guys, what do they say? Can't remember, it must not be that important. But no, it was kind of important because it was one that I've been wanting to do. Can't believe I forgot it already. If you guys can remember what I forgot, let me know in the comments. What do we got going on here? I shared you out, but the people coming in, I'm not familiar with them. Must be some funga fans. Yes, sir. And we'll take them all, right? Man, unfortunately, I can't remember the other video topic I was just going to discuss or talk to you guys about. Shoot. Talking about health benefits of mushrooms. I've done plenty of videos on that kind of stuff. I don't know. If it comes to me, it comes to me. But yes, give me ideas and let the live chat be open for questions. I actually want to be challenged because when I actually do my videos, as you can tell, if you've watched any of my 9 o'clock videos, I've flipped the camera on record, turn it around and said, let's go. I waste no time. I don't have a script I'm following. And then I go back and upload the video to YouTube, and I'm watching it as it's, as I'm uploading it. And I'm like, dang, I forgot to say this. I didn't mention this. I said the wrong thing there. So when it comes to the live session, this is a chance for me to be corrected on my mistakes in the video. And in this case, I didn't have a mistake I noticed as much as I just had information that was left out, which I hope I covered some of that in the chat now. But I welcome you guys to scrutinize my videos and point out, like, what did I mean by this? Or can you explain that further? I can explain these further because I'm also not trying to just put myself out there. I hope that I know more than what I put on camera because I actually want my audience to be able to ask me questions. Consider this like school for the kids that thought school was boring. We're coming to learn mushroom facts with no judgment. We ain't getting graded. We're just having fun out here learning about fungi. All right, what do we got going on here? Man, I got to stick my face right up in front of the phone here just to be able to read these comments. So don't mind my squinty eyes here. What do we got going on? I got into mushrooms when I found out how many delicious and medicinal mushrooms grow around me in the wild for free. Yes, sir. That was me. 2020 COVID had me in the woods. Thankfully I had, phone and internet. I could look stuff up. I was looking up mushroom after mushroom. And a passion began. I mean, some of it was like food, some of it was the medicinal, finding turkey tail, birch polypore, and some of those. But just finding all these little treasures in the woods. Obviously the foraging, the food side of things, but it became a game too. It became a little bonus activity of just being in the woods with the therapy that brings, right? For sure. Loving Dean the God Machine. Oh, I didn't even read your full name. Man, you guys are commenting faster than I'm keeping up now. I love it though. And we got more people still going. We're still going, guys. Remember, if the lights go out, we're going to call it. And I do want to say in advance, if this does dip out on us here, thank you guys for jumping on the feed. So that's a support to my channel. My channel is still fledgling. We're having fun with the fungi, but it's still fledgling. We're at like 1,419 subscribers, maybe more. I haven't checked if it's gone up tonight. But the fact that I'm not monetized yet, every week I spend hours studying this stuff to give you guys the knowledge too, even though secretly I would do it for myself. But I want to share it with you guys. So I do spend hours in preparation of doing such. And all the help, every little bit helps. I don't know how to say that. But yeah, like everything you guys do is a help, whether it's sharing it, leaving comments, jumping on the live feed. It helps the algorithm promote my channel. And someday we're going to go from low budget, high energy to medium budget, high energy. Or maybe I have somebody holding the camera, or maybe I'm using better audio equipment, or maybe I actually do editing to my videos. So they're not as choppy, or there's a little more entertaining quips and memes thrown in there. There's potential when you have a little bit of a budget to work with. But right now, y'all seen my truck. Shoot, I'm missing door handles. So this is not a plea for money, but this is a thank you for the support that I'm given. For people even just giving a crap about my channel and being on here supporting me, it does mean a lot to me. And those that I've met at live places, Michael Fest, or like in Pittsburgh or other live places that I've been, much love to you guys continuing your support even after being there on the days you met me. It's like you saw something in me that was worth connecting and continuing the connection with, and that means a lot to me. Especially to you, Shroom Day. Thank you. All right. But saying especially is not to leave anybody else out, because I have a lot of people that support me, and I am appreciative of all y'all. Man, where are we in the comments? Can I just jump in, because I'm kind of behind here? I do see a hi from New Zealand. God bless. Thank you. New Zealand? You're like almost on the opposite side of the planet. Like if I drilled a hole through planet Earth, I'd be close to New Zealand, I think. Maybe Australia? I'd be over there somewhere. How would I find that out? Just out of curiosity. Do I take my coordinates and then just plop them in reverse, and it would put me on the opposite side of the planet? I think I would take I'd have to go the same latitude, just opposite, south instead of north, but that same number. And then my longitude would have to be the opposite, right? I'd have to take that number and like add 180, I think. I'm gonna have to find out, where would I end up if I just completely made a beeline through planet Earth through the center? Where would I pop out? Middle of nowhere, PA, to middle of nowhere, New Zealand? Maybe. No. But that's awesome. See, the power of this social media algorithm stuff has allowed me to be in front of people across the globe. I got someone in New Zealand watching this. Thank you. If you're watching the live stream, though, I feel like you might be missing out if you're not checking out like the actual videos that I premiere. Go check out the Fungi Facts folder in my playlists. That folder has like 20 some videos that I've been doing low budget, high energy, where I stand on the side of my big ugly truck and I teach mushroom facts. Some of it's chemistry, some of it's ecological, like tonight, talking about how the cracked cat polypore interacts with some of the other populations in the community at large of the woods out here in the Appalachia. And here, if you're just now joining us, there it is. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, PA, where we have this mushroom that grows on locust, black locust, and it's called, oh, there's my light, and it's called cracked cat polypore. Hey, I did tell you guys when the lights go out, that was my bedtime. So we get to call this, and I don't even know if I got through all my comments. So I want to just say thank you to everybody that's come on here. Shoot, ooh, you could do shroom art classes when you go FT full-time tuber. Whoever's leaving that comment, just know I plan on doing mushroom art classes in Johnstown, Pennsylvania at Craftwork Studios. Go check out Craftwork Studios on Instagram. And I plan on hosting art classes there. I actually have my mushroom lab in a studio room that I rent there. So I'm sort of affiliated with them, I guess, right? If I'm renting space from them. But yeah, that's in the works here of doing mushroom art classes. I'm talking like high school, 9th grade art class, like the fun class. But you're not even going to get judged on your artwork. This is live events with Mr. Jeff hosting the art class, teaching different art styles with different mushrooms. So I know not everybody on my channel is from PA or even, this part of PA. But I'm just putting that out there that, yeah, we're already planning on doing mushroom art live. And am I going to be putting it out on YouTube? You bet. We're going to film it. Maybe I even could go live. So there'll be people at home watching, could be doing the same thing. Oh, man, it's getting me ideas here. So thank you for reminding me about that. Heck, we're in the dark scrolling through these comments. When I get to the final comment, then I'll say goodnight. But I got to catch up on these comments, guys. I appreciate you making this a good night for me to chat. We took it long. We took it strong. All right, where are we at here? You're from PA too? You bet I am. I call it the middle of nowhere PA. But I kind of have a 3-county area that I'm involved in work in, that spans from Latrobe to Johnstown all the way down to Donegal, and everywhere in between. I frequent parks like Lynn Run. But I originally hailed from Central PA when I started this whole mushroom adventure, and Susquehanna River Valley, up in those parts was where I got my start, near Bucknell University and such, Lewisburg. But we're closer to Pittsburgh now. Anyway, let me catch up on some of these comments. The picture he drew on his window looked like it was painted or printed, and I appreciate that. I mean, you guys got a kind of a distant shot in the video. Go back and watch the video. I didn't get too close because you could see, like, you could see the imperfections when you get super close. That what I'm looking at when I make it anyway. I try not to stare too long. Anyway, did you make it to MycoFest a couple weeks ago? There's a huge mushroom following in PA. I just traveled 5.5 hours to be with my people. Yeah, I'm glad you did too. I know you're not speaking to me in that comment, but I'm reading the comments out loud. And Loving Dean commented back, no, I did not even know about it. Hey, we got next year. This year was a blast. MycoFest has allowed me to be involved with their whole thing for a couple of years now, including me being the volunteer coordinator for the forays. And I got to host a couple forays, including a night foray with UV flashlights. I think we're going to do it again next year and hopefully do it bigger and better. I'm excited to be a part of MycoFest. I like what it's doing, and it's bringing people together that I don't want to judge and say everybody needs it, but someone like myself certainly benefits from that type of community where I felt like I had a lack there. So it was good to be a part of that. It is good to be a part of that. Anyway, you should totally look into it. It's a yearly event. And I think we should do, when I'm speaking to you, Shroom Day, and others who are like-minded, I think we should make MycoFest, the concept of it, maybe a quarterly thing. Maybe every 3 months we do smaller get-togethers. Let MycoFest be MycoFest, but have a fall and a springtime get-together. Maybe if they're just one day, springtime kickoff Morel. There is a Morel Fest, by the way, not to take away from them. but something that's a springtime activity, and then end of season, end of the fall type activity that brings us together to close out mushroom hunting. And I'm speaking as a mushroom hunter, but the mushroom community is more than mushroom hunting, to say the least. Anyway, let's keep this going. Small world. I'm from PA too. It's in PA every year. Shroom Day is not from PA though, but he's not too far from PA. Too far. Will you do Zoom? Who, me? We are going to be doing on this channel, we're going to be having other people on my channel using, different apps and programs where I can do this stuff. Similar to Zoom. But I don't know if you're speaking to me or not. But I definitely want to be doing, I want to do two things. I want to have people on my channel where I'm talking to them, like Zoom-esque. But I also want to do, cameras in the woods where I have a designated camera person filming me and another person with microphones while we go mushroom hunting. I mean, that wouldn't be live. That would be a pre-recorded and edited, ideally. It's a format that I've gotten to play around with, and I haven't gotten too far. And I have footage of folks that I've done this with, and I'm just waiting to edit and put them out there as a concept here to create a new concept of videos where I interview folks in the woods. Some people knowing more about mushrooms than me, some of them knowing nothing about mushrooms, but having good banter, good discussion, and occasional mushroom or two along the way. Anyway, I'm missing my comments here. Shroom Day, definitely going to look into it and make it next year. I can't believe I found a mushroom channel who's also from PA. Yeah, rock on. Jeff, I would love to meet up and hunt some shrooms for sure. I mean, I'm not big on Facebook these days. I'm more Instagram and YouTube. But I was doing every year since 2021, I was doing live events throughout the state. I would set up events on my Facebook page. I was going to be at this state park or that state park on this Saturday. I was doing these events where people would come out and mushroom hunt with me for a foray where we'd go in the woods and it'd be like a 2-hour event. And then when it was over, I'd go back in the woods doing my own filming. And I was making videos in the woods afterwards. And I didn't do any of that this year. Not that this year's over, and I still would like to do 1 or 2 live events this fall, possibly. But it's been a trying year. It's been a year of transition, and a year where I've had to just decide which way am I going to take, which paths am I going to take, and just pull some triggers. And here we are. And I'm kind of liking the way this is going, so no regrets. But I didn't see it this year playing out the way it's played out. So there we are. But I still hope to do some. Hey, where are we at comment-wise? Everyone I know that attended MycoFest say that they found their extended families. Yeah, we all come to learn about mushrooms and leave with new family. I would totally be down for a quarterly mushroom meetup. Local church plants. What about local church fungi? I'm just teasing. Hey, thank you for the comment. Music, Michigan has a Morel Festival every year, world famous. Man, I'm from Michigan, and I don't know about that. But I didn't get into mushrooms till I left Michigan, so I'm not really part of any Michigan mushroom scene. But I have mushroom hunted since becoming a mushroom goofball, and that was mostly around like Baird's Hills, outside of Port Huron. All right, anyway, keep me going here. Zoom-esque art classes I meant. Okay. Man, I'm so far behind in the comments because that was a while ago. Yeah, Zoom-esque art class. I'm thinking so. Instead of Zoom-esque, just doing art classes, just recording them live, right? And then having having you all watch on your YouTube or whatever. But as far as Zooming, I'm gonna resume. I'm gonna reserve that for Zooming somebody who can't be to the class live, who would be teaching something or presenting something, though, because I do have some fellow artists, we'll say. Yeah, that's the word. I was gonna say art teachers, but I don't think they necessarily teach art, but they're artists nonetheless, better than me in some ways. Like people who are better with watercolors and paintings, I could bring them on if they can't drive and be there live. I could bring them on in a Zoom and incorporate them into the live feed to teach from a distance for my class. But anyway, let me catch up on some of these comments. I'm not going to bed till y'all are done talking with me. So keep the comments going and we'll just talk in the dark. But y'all just know this, I'm getting eaten up out here. Pretty sure these mosquitoes can just like see. They can see my blood. Just like we use the ultraviolet to see mushrooms in the dark. They can just see my blood. All right, where are we at here? Sorry, I got a bug in my eye. And looks like I'm reading somebody's conversation. Shroom Day, excuse me. Shroom Day and Dean are conversing here. All right, the feeling of being surrounded by so many like-minded people is a very strange experience. It's something I look forward to. Yes, sir. And I don't think I speak for myself, but Shroom Day, did you feel a little bit of a slump? Like the week after Michael Fest? Almost like, I don't know what to compare it to. I guess people who go on big vacations and come home and have to go back to work have that feeling of, ugh. Almost like you need the vacation from the vacation. And coming back from Michael Fest, even though it was just a weekend, it was a busy weekend, it was a draining, taxing weekend. And that part, I was still riding a mental high for, days after, but eventually that fades off and you almost kind of dip back down before you get back to normalcy. But maybe that's just me. All right. Home spore. Reading these comments here. Mosquitoes can see the CO2 in your breath, I'm sure. Probably looks colorful to them too. Man, I always feel drained when I come home from Michael Fest. Yes, sir. It's an emotional experience. Yeah, and I think there's a homeostasis. There's when you experience a high, your body rebounds with a low before it gets back to normal. Like it has to, like when you crack a whip. You get the up, you make that wave, and it will swing back down before it levels. And I think that oscillation is just nature. It's just the pattern of life. Man, we are rambling about the pattern of life. I don't know who's left in the chats, but hey, it was a long night. We're hitting a whole hour stretch on this live after party chat, and I didn't even play any music. What kind of party is it without music? And I got a guitar in the back. I could have busted out and sang you guys a song or something. So next time, if you guys want to hear a song, you know what to do. We can make it a true after party. But until then, I think I'm going to call it. It was a good night. You guys definitely you got me motivated. Can't wait for next Monday. I got to wait a whole week to do this again with you guys. But until then, thank you again. I'll send out reminders to select people that like the notifications. I don't mind notifying you guys that, Monday night fungus. We'll come out and party a little bit with mushroom talk. Shoot. I'm no good at goodbyes. So on that note, peace. Or whatever I should be saying. Live, I got to come up with a different closure, a different ending instead of peace. Let's save that for the dumb videos. Hey, man, you guys all have a good night. And until next time, I'll see you next Monday. Later. And how do you shut off this live? I always mess this up.